And welcome to The Record. I'm Tom Basile in for Greta Van Susteren. We begin with stunning new details about the victims, the suspect, and the growing fallout from the shooting 2 days ago in our nation's capital that looks to have been perpetrated by an Islamic extremist let into the country during the Biden administration. First, the two victims, both young members of the National Guard tasked with keeping Washington, D.C. safe by supporting law enforcement there. One victim has died. She was 20-year-old Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. The other, 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. He remains in critical condition at this hour. President Trump had this to say about the tragedy.
Incredible person, outstanding in every single way, in every department. Just horrible. As you know, the other young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life, and hopefully we'll get better news with respect to him. And the monster that did this is also in serious condition. But we won't even talk about him.
And that monster, as President Trump calls him, is now facing a first-degree murder charge. He has been identified as Ramalula Lakanwal, a 29-year-old from Afghanistan. Those who know him say that he served in a CIA-backed Afghan army unit. The D.C. attack now leading to policy changes. In a Truth Social post last night, President Trump wrote in part, quote, "I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's Autopen, and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country, end all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens of our country, denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility, and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization." John Nantz and Diana London join me. John is a retired FBI supervisory special agent. Diana, the CEO of London Global Strategies. John, I want to start with you. The suspect believed to have served in an Afghan army unit backed by the CIA. What does that reveal to you? And is it possible that he was actually a member of another terrorist organization that got pulled into that unit?
Well, that's certainly possible. The unit he was assigned to was called NDS-03, which was actually an Afghani unit that was backed by the CIA. So we're assuming that the agency conducted some degree, I would think, of verification of this individual's bona fides. However, I think we have information that says that he was 15 years old when he first signed up for this unit. So he lied about his age. The CIA didn't catch that. So there are a lot of questions, regarding how these individuals were vetted. It's not unique in the Afghanistan conflict to have people that were supposedly fighting on our side to actually turn against American troops. There were several U.S. Air Force personnel killed when an Afghani national turned on them in theater in Afghanistan. So a lot of unanswered questions so far with this individual.
Diana, the president attempting to make some sweeping changes to the refugee system. Can he do these unilaterally, or does Congress need to step in? You heard what I just said that he'd like to do just moments ago.
Yeah, I stand with every American today horrified by what has happened in Washington, D.C. And it is very, very clear that we need to pause and also boost up our vetting process of who is coming into this country in every capacity. But, the left's predictable open border talking heads on television are screaming that this is a collective punishment. No. This is collective defense. The first and most basic duty of any American president is to protect American lives, period. What we just saw in Washington is the tragic proof of what's happening when border security fails and vetting collapse. Compassion without control is not compassion. It is neglect. President Trump is doing what every serious nation does: pause, reassess, secure the system, and put our citizens first. You cannot run a country on feelings alone. You run it on law, security, and sovereignty. So America can be generous, but only after America is safe.
John, officials say the suspect entered the U.S. in 2021 through a Biden administration program that evacuated and resettled Afghans after the United States' disastrous withdrawal from the country. Let's play a little bit more sound from the president on this.
DHS has confirmed that the suspect is an Afghan national flown here by the previous administration, who was such a bad administration. And I have a picture of a plane. This is what it looked like when they came in. It was total bedlam.
And of course, you know, John, vetting for in-country work with the U.S. agencies is one thing, but resettlement and vetting folks for resettlement into the United States would naturally require an additional, an entirely different process. Do we have any idea if any of this was done with this guy?
Well, you would think so. You would hope so. But I think the Biden administration was more concerned about trying to import a new constituency than they were with the safety of the American people. The Operation Allies Welcome program introduced 85,000 Afghan refugees into our population, and I don't think that really much in the way of any sort of vetting was done. At least I don't see any reporting to that effect that real serious vetting of these individuals was done. I think for the most part, we don't know where these people are. We don't know where they're located today. We don't know where the sponsoring families are located. We don't know what sort of employment these individuals may have obtained. So this is a tremendous problem. It's an incredible security threat. And it's really an extension of the Biden sort of open borders policy that, again, was more concerned about importing a Democrat constituency.
I think that we remember this. This all happened so quickly. They decided that they were going to pull out by September 11th. They gave away the air base. It was the president's right. It was total bedlam, and these people just showed up here on planes within a matter of days, weeks, and months, tens of thousands of them, because the president was getting so much criticism for the level of chaos and the number of people who worked with our forces who were then going to potentially be killed by the Taliban because of the way that this was all handled. Diana, the President Trump announcing on Truth Social that any document now signed by former President Joe Biden via Autopen is hereby terminated. Talk to us about his authority to do this, what you're hearing, and how you see this playing out.
Yeah, I just saw that before we came on. And, I think we've kind of known for a little bit of time that the president was probably planning to do this. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen a president sign 97% of their executive orders with a Autopen and no knowledge that they were happening. And so I think that it's actually important the president does that, because the significance of an executive order by the president of the United States is extremely significant. And so I think we knew this was coming. I think we'll see the details of it. Are they the pardons that are going to be included too? I think we're going to see this unpack the next few days. I'm sure that there will be some that will try to bring this to the Supreme Court, people from the Biden administration. I don't think we'll see them just lay down from the fight. They're probably going to bring it up to the Supreme Court. But I think it's going to set a precedent on that, and it should.
All right, and look, I agree with you. I think it's going to go up to the court because there are a lot of questions about the legality of the use of the Autopen, and we're going to certainly continue to follow this evolving story. John Nantz and Diana London, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Coming up on the record, Pope Leo making his first international trip since his election to lead the Roman Catholic Church. The importance of his visit to Turkey. Next, when the record continues.
Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
Before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers ahead in a new book, Pagan Threat, authored by Pastor Lucas Miles. Charlie said Pagan Threat could save America and that you must read it. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer. Plus, get Dick Morse's new book, The Real Charlie Kirk. 2 great books with our free offer today.
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
We are Create. We designed the gold standard creatine monohydrate gummy, which can support daily energy levels, boost mental clarity, and build and retain muscle. Learn more at trycreate.co.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
I'm Elmer Heinrich, at 91 years of age, here with my wife Shirley, who is 83. Now, both of us are still cutting a wide swath in life, all because of Immuno 150. Now, we are asking you to use Immuno 150 like we do. Give it a chance for at least 90 days so that you can see what 70 plant minerals and 80 additional nutrients can do for you.
It really is incredible.
Yeah, try it. You will be surprised. Order now. You'll be glad you did.
The American Pope is on his first road trip, interestingly enough, to Turkey for Thanksgiving. Pope Leo met with the Turkish president. He also has been meeting with Christian leaders, and during a celebration to mark the 1700th anniversary of a major church council, also with senior clerics from countries including Turkey, Egypt, Syria, and Israel. Our foreign correspondent Anneliese Taggart is traveling with Pope Leo. She reports from Istanbul.
Hi, Tom. Good evening from here in Istanbul. Today, in a centerpiece of the Pope's first ever international trip, he made history as he prayed side by side with the Patriarch of the Orthodox Church to make a call for world unity and mark a major Christian anniversary. After arriving to the city of Iznik by helicopter, a couple hours outside of Istanbul, the Pope marked the 1700th anniversary of the Council of Nicaea. He did so at the remains of the basilica, where the council is believed to have taken place back in 325 AD. This council is arguably the most influential meeting in Christian history, as it produced the first universally accepted statement of Christian belief, the Nicene Creed, that is still prayed today. The Council of Nicaea, of course, predates the eventual separation between the Orthodox Christian Church and the Roman Catholic Church. But today, the heads of these churches standing together to accept their differences and move to solve modern-day problems. The Pope saying this:
"We must strongly reject the use of religion for justifying war, violence, or any form of fundamentalism or fanaticism. Instead, the paths to follow are those of fraternal encounter, dialogue, and cooperation."
This call to action from the Pope and this trip, centered on peace and unity, comes at a time of heightened religious tension across the Middle East, and as Christian communities in the region are nearing extinction. In Turkey alone, a century ago, Christians made up about 20% of the population. Today, they account for just 0.02% in a country that is now almost entirely Muslim. Now, tomorrow, the Pope and the Patriarch will meet once again, this time to sign a joint declaration, marking yet another step in strengthening their relationship at a time when Christian presence in this region is remarkably frail. Tom?
Anneliese Taggart, thank you so much. Appreciate that report. Joining me, the author of the new book, Leo XIV, and the Vice President and Editorial Director of EWTN News, Dr. Matthew Bunson. Dr. Bunson?
Very good
Why
to be with
did
you.
Pope Leo decide to go to Turkey and Lebanon during this first international trip? Talk to us about the significance of that.
Yeah, as we've just been hearing, the 1700th anniversary of the Council of Nicaea is a very significant event in the history of the Church, but it's also a significant one in the current life of the Church. Here we are in the Jubilee year for the Catholic Church, and Pope Leo is using this anniversary as a way of continuing to work on the relationship between the Catholic and Orthodox churches. And from that standpoint, this is a very significant trip. This is also a trip that is intended to do a couple of things. First is to bolster the position of religious minorities, especially in Turkey and increasingly in Lebanon, to foster peace and dialogue, especially Catholic Islamic dialogue, and then to remind everyone of the need for peace in a region that stretches, of course, from Turkey all the way to the Near East, to Iraq and Iran, that is in dire need of peace and reconciliation.
Yeah. Professor at Trinity College, Dublin, had told the Financial Times, quote, "The Vatican sees Lebanon as the gold standard of how a Middle Eastern country could be with a multi-religious, multi-ethnic population, but that dream has been in crisis for 50 years, end quote. The comments that we just heard, he made a reference certainly to violent extremism and fundamentalism. Do you believe that that was a veiled reference to the Islamic extremism that we see in the region, Europe also experiencing violence that stems from Islamic fundamentalism, and could this be the beginning of a broader push by the Vatican? A lot of folks have asked, Doctor, about why the Church has been so, in many respects, silent about the strong Muslim push in the region and throughout Europe.
Yeah, and his comments in Turkey are especially strategic because Turkey is increasingly a major player in the region, certainly in Syria next door. It is heavily involved, obviously, in the various conflicts between Hezbollah and Israel, Hamas and Israel. Turkey wants to be a major player. So by making a statement like he did today, it's a reminder of Turkey that it has a role to play. Heading into Lebanon, it's a similar problem where obviously you have the presence of Hezbollah, which is directly interfering with stability, especially long-term for Lebanon. Let's not forget the heavily beleaguered but frankly magnificent Maronite Catholic Church that at one point was a solid majority in Lebanon, but now because of the regional conflicts, their numbers have decreased. You have a diaspora. So the Pope is going there to bolster that presence as well, to remind Christians that they have an important part to play, but also the Islamic governments in the region to respect those rights of religious minorities and to work toward really building a society that recognizes the rights of everyone. That's been in danger for a long time, especially in a place like Lebanon.
All right, now it's Pope Leo, so he's cool, and there was a cool moment on the plane where where a reporter gave the Pope quite a significant gift. Watch this.
I bring an old family heirloom. It was a real achievement. This is from my cousin Jim. This used to be Nellie Fox's baseball bat. My family's generation, my parents' generation is from Chicago. He's got his initials on the butt of the bat. When they found out I was going to meet you, they insisted on me giving this to you. So, all right, thank you so much.
That's pretty cool. All right, so last week we saw this arena full of young Catholics in Indianapolis, the Pope taking questions from them. Just today I had somebody say to me who was Jewish, and he said, I don't really have, I don't really listen to the Pope. I don't really have occasion to do it, and but this one speaks in English, and so I'm actually sort of starting to pay more attention to what he's saying. Are you hearing and seeing a renewed excitement in the Church because of this new American Pope?
Well, certainly in the United States, he has captured the imagination of a lot of people. We can add, too, that the baseball references just keep coming. During his encounter with young people in Indianapolis, he said, just remember, I only wear white socks. So he's certainly playing into those great Chicago roots. But I think his language, his Midwest accent, he is Leo from Chicago. All of those things, I think, are really playing into a real increase of interest on the part of American Catholics. But it is also very striking to hear him traveling the globe now, speaking predominantly in English. And that's sort of the lingua franca of the world. And I think Pope Leo is leaning into that as well. But I think for him, he understands the significance of this moment of having an American. But he's being very true to himself. You notice that he is somebody who is always very calm, very serene. But he has a surprisingly well-developed sense of humor, even down to what wordle he chooses for each day.
Yeah, like I said, there's a cool factor, and Dr. Matthew Bunson from EWTN, you and I were there the day that he was elected. We appreciate your insights as always, sir. Thank you.
Great to be with you.
In other international news, the death toll rising to 128 people in the Hong Kong high-rise fire. Officials say many still remain unaccounted for. The blaze impacted several buildings. More than 2,300 firefighters and medical personnel involved in the operation there. The fire broke out on Wednesday and is the deadliest in more than 60 years in Hong Kong. Multiple people have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter related to the blaze. Police say the people behind the construction company in one of the buildings are suspected of gross negligence. Authorities add they found highly flammable plastic foam panels on each floor of one of the towers that was not impacted. The purpose of those panels is not immediately clear. Coming up, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's right-hand man has resigned in a corruption scandal. How will that impact the negotiations with Russia? That when the record continues.
Joining us is Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company with advice for dealing with seasonal colds and flu. Doctor?
Cold and flu season is here, and every year you or a loved one gets sick. Your doctor can't see you. Waiting in a crowded urgent care is brutal. This is a particularly bad cold and flu season, and it's why doctors suggest every family needs an emergency medical kit. Your medical emergency kit is filled with essential prescriptions. It includes antibiotics like generic Z-Pak to get well faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs, and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, doctor.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans. Compare drug coverage. Compare costs. See if you can save. And make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare plans now at Medicare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey everybody, Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor here. You know, homeowners, farmers, and ranchers don't want to worry about frozen water supplies. I don't either. Freeze Miser product helps me avoid those. It installs in minutes and activates when the water temperature falls below 37 degrees. The Freeze Miser even works in extreme freezing weather. No batteries or electricity, and it's made in the USA. Available at your favorite retailer or at freezemiser.com. It's the Freeze Miser, and it works.
Invest in Ukraine now. Ukraine is rebuilding, innovating, and shaping the future. Because Ukraine is the potential. Kyivstar is Ukraine's leading digital operator. Invests in Ukraine's connectivity, entertainment, ride-hailing, healthcare, and innovation. It's time to think opportunity. It's time to think Ukraine now.
New
it's a great time to play Solitaire Grand Harvest and enjoy a new world of solitaire. Brr, a cold world. This Christmas, discover all the holiday fun with exciting features from Santa, like our winter tournaments, festive mini-games, and challenging levels. Ever built a farm in the snow? 'Tis the season to turn classic into fantastic. So download Solitaire Grand Harvest for free and see for yourself.
Nobody does insurance like the zebra.
Okay. Got you, Mike.
I just found the perfect policy at the best price for you.
Told you. Nobody does insurance like the zebra. We monitor your insurance and inform you of savings the moment we find it, so you never have to second guess your policy or your price. Find out how much you can save today. Hooves in.
Well, he's out. Today, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, resigned. Yermak is being investigated in a $100 million corruption scandal. Today, his home and his offices were raided. According to officials, Yermak is fully cooperating with authorities. Retired United States Air Force Brigadier General and former U.S. Deputy Military Representative to NATO and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt joins me now. All right, General, talk to us about this corruption scandal and how the Ukrainians are dealing with it here.
Well, that second part is probably the most important, is how are the Ukrainians dealing with it? And what we understand now is in the press in Ukraine, and I made some phone calls to associates I know in Ukraine today, they're not letting it go. They absolutely want NABU and the other corruption agency in Ukraine to follow this wherever the facts take them. $100 million is what's thrown out there as Yermak's potential crimes. But that number goes way north of that when with other assertions that are out there. So what happens next? Well, some of this is wrapped up into the peace plan because there were certain amnesties that were suggested for anybody guilty of corruption as a way to get this expeditiously behind us. But let me remind everybody that none of those amnesties work in the United States of America or Europe, and so you could see that investigation come this way.
All right. Russian dictator Vladimir Putin now defending U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff over people accusing Witkoff of having a pro-Russia bias. This comes after Bloomberg News published a transcript of a leaked phone call between Witkoff and a Kremlin foreign policy aide, Yuri Ushakov. Should Americans be concerned at all that a murderous dictator and a war criminal is coming to the aid of a U.S. diplomat that he is supposed to be meeting with and negotiating with next week?
Well, I think anything that gets said is going to be overanalyzed by any stretch. And quite frankly, we hear some of the same assertions regarding General Kellogg and the Ukrainians, and both are false. Ambassador Witkoff and General Kellogg are America first, loyal to their country, loyal to the mission of diplomatically finding a way through this mess. And what we need to see is European leaders fall in behind President Trump's leadership as he tries to get this chapter closed out. It's very difficult diplomacy. Articles like the one that Chatham House's CEO put out 4 days ago, which blatantly call for pushback on this plan and let's go take all the Russian assets that were frozen and give them to Ukraine. That's not helpful when President Trump is essentially dealing with a diplomatic scalpel trying to get this thing done.
Putin and Witkoff are expected to meet next week, General. Russia throwing cold water on the new 19-point plan for peace, agreed to in principle by the U.S., Ukraine, and the Europeans. Unless Trump really puts the squeeze on the Russian economy, why would anybody expect Putin to make concessions at this point?
Well, I think that in the Russian case, look, they've gone, how many miles in 4 years? They're really about grinding up an annihilation of the Ukrainian military one and getting the Russian-speaking oblasts back under control. So I don't think there's a big fear that Russia's intent is to escalate this beyond these borders. But at the same time, look, the Russians have been deceptive before, and it's going to take very firm diplomacy. Some of those could be economic consequences. But economic carrots also work, and right now Russia and Putin and the Kremlin need to get back into the world economy, or they're going to be in trouble. That's the leverage that we have right now. It's not military leverage. That doesn't exist. That's not in our hands, and that's the path that President Trump is taking. So I hope they'll follow his leadership.
There is this perception, though, growing on the part of some in both parties here in the United States, that Trump has been, throughout this process, been treating Russia with kid gloves. I think that the Europeans can be accused of the same thing. Americans know who the aggressor is in this war, and they want Ukraine to win, and they want Ukraine to get those kids back, right? Not doing that kind of comes with a political risk. What should the president be doing right now, real quickly for me?
Well, one of those things is possible, and that's getting the kids back. And I salute Melania Trump, who got that started, and it's going in the right direction. But what does a win look like? A win to me looks like Ukraine gets out of this with a sovereign country and a water seaport, and we start to put this country back together again. Militarily, you're not going to push the Russians out of the ground that they hold right now. That force doesn't exist.
All right. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a busy week ahead. Brigadier General Blaine Holt. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Supermodel, First Lady, author, and now movie producer. First Lady Melania Trump adding a new skill to her resume. This morning, she announced that she is starting a production company called Muse Films, and her first film will be released at the beginning of next year, and it's called, well, Melania. It will hit theaters January 30th. Amazon MGM Studios licensed the film for $40 million. The company says the film will include a behind-the-scenes look at the First Lady's life in the 20 days leading up to President Trump's inauguration. The studio says it will have, quote, exclusive footage capturing critical meetings, private conversations, and never-before-seen environments. And I'm sure there are going to be tons of protests as well. Coming up, shoppers are hitting the stores and are expected to set records this Black Friday. We're going to head to the mall when the record continues.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.
For pain in multiple spots like here, here, or here, Salonpas patches stick firmly and remove comfortably once your pain is gone. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
There are only a few men I'd trust with my life. Two of them built this wallet. I've known the guys behind Proof for nearly 20 years, and we've been through hell and back together. When they told me they were building the wallet, I just said, bill me now, I'm in. This isn't some fashion piece. This isn't just some trend. These wallets are a direct reflection of the kind of men who built it. It's built to last, built to function, and designed to carry everything you need and more. If anything happens to it, they'll take care of it. No questions, no fine print. If you knew the guys who created this wallet, you wouldn't carry anything else. Go check them out, because they built this thing right.
As a cardiologist, when I put my patients on a statin to reduce cholesterol, I also tell them it can deplete their CoQ10 levels. I recommend taking Cunol CoQ10. Cunol has 3 times better absorption than regular CoQ10. Cunol, the brand I trust.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Create a daily workout, whatever workout means for you. Create better habits, habits that stick. Create small wins and let them add up. We are Create, the creatine gummy made from Creapure, the gold standard of creatine monohydrate, which can support daily energy levels, boost mental clarity, build and retain muscle, and help you feel your best. Learn more about Create at trycreate.co.
We're talking to people today about investments. Let's see if we can get somebody. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a retirement account?
I do. I'm invested in some annuities.
Fixed income? How is that?
It was better a few years ago. Each year, it buys less and less, barely keeping up.
That's where gold can make a difference. Unlike fixed payouts, gold rises with inflation, so you're not stuck with a low fixed payment.
So gold isn't stuck in the past like my annuity?
Don't let inflation erode your retirement savings. Invest in gold. Invest with Noble Gold Investments.
Hi, I'm former Major League All-Star Lee Mazzilli. I'm proud to have played in New York for both the Mets and the Yankees. I'm also proud to be a longtime supporter of Tunnel to Towers Foundation. T2T helps our firefighters, our police, our soldiers, and their families. You can join their cause as well. Just $11 a month will help these brave men and women who keep us safe. Go to T2T.org for more information on how your donation can help.
Hey, I'm Daniel, one of the founders of Ridge. My dad and I realized that most wallets are falling apart, stuffed to the max, and barely fit in your back pocket. So we set out to create something better. Ridge is built to last a lifetime and is the perfect balance of modern style and durability. Find yours at ridge.com.
Today is one of the biggest shopping days of the year, Black Friday. The National Retail Federation predicting the first $1 trillion holiday season, with total sales increasing anywhere from 3.7% to 4.2% in November and December year over year. Joe Moeller is live at a busy mall in Los Angeles. How are we doing, Joe?
Hey, I can't complain. I mean, the weather is great and people are spending a lot of money today. Black Friday is well underway here in Los Angeles. We're a few miles from downtown at an outdoor mall. You can see the crowds behind me here. This mall here is actually staying open for 27 hours straight. Some stores open their doors Thanksgiving night at 8 p.m. People say they're trying to get the best deals they can.
We're here shopping for some deals. I got jeans from Hollister for like $20 off, so it's pretty cool.
Find anything good?
Yeah, I found good prices on different stores like Disney.
Well, retailers are offering discounts of 30 to 50% off, with many stores expected to keep these deals through the weekend. The National Retail Federation predicts holiday spending could top $1 trillion this season, up about 4% from last year. Online shopping surging as well, of course, with sales so far up more than 7% over 2023. But higher prices, driven in part by tariffs, are still a challenge for folks. I talked to retail expert Linda Johansen-James, who believes Black Friday shopping may top $20 billion today, up 3 to 4%.
The big thing still is electronics, even though it's been impacted by tariffs. People are really being cognizant about spending their money on, and I hate to say it, on luxury items, but more needed items. People are looking for real savings. And so I think the value retailers, I think the discount retailers are going to be big winners.
Anti-Trump groups have planned boycotts against a handful of retailers around the country for changes to DEI programs and recent ICE operations. One retailer being targeted, Home Depot. Johansen-James doesn't believe the protest on retailers will have much of an impact today. Now back out here live outside this outdoor mall near downtown Los Angeles. You can see the line there. Folks trying to get into the Calvin Klein there to get the best deal that they can there. I'm seeing quite a bit of long lines here at this outdoor mall. I was trying to find some deals, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to actually sit in some of these lines. So I'll see what I can do before I head out of here. But for now, I'll send it back to you.
Well, at least you're outside and it's a beautiful day. Joe Moeller in Los Angeles, thank you so much. Well, financial markets economist and president of the Lonski Group, John Lonski, joins me now. John, always good to see you. Consumer confidence is down, but the Retail Federation says sales will be up. What's going on here?
I happen to agree with the Retail Federation. I think that sales will grow by roughly 4% from a year ago in current dollar terms. That's pretty good, though the rate of growth is going to be slower than what we had during last year's holiday shopping season. Sales then were up perhaps by about a half a percentage point faster. It's strange. You know, I've looked at all of the November readings on consumer sentiment going back to the early 1970s. And believe it or not, November 2025 showed the lowest November reading on consumer sentiment ever. But despite that, the consumer continues to spend. And that's also despite the fact that we've had quite a slowdown in jobs growth.
Yeah, why is that? Why the disconnect there between how people feel and how they're behaving?
Could be access to consumer credit cards. And in turn, I think this has something to do with the strength of the equity market. We've got a powerful wealth effect that's propping up consumer spending. People look at their 401k plans. They don't necessarily take money out of the plan, but they feel more confident perhaps about borrowing from their credit card to finance their spending. Now, you would think that perhaps this would have those equity investors and credit card companies worried, but that hasn't been the case. We find that the share prices, the equity prices of credit card companies have held up quite well, including those credit card companies that specialize at lending to middle and lower income Americans.
Okay. Now, you know, when you get your paycheck, never good to see all that money that you lose from income tax. But the president offered a little bit of hope maybe for some folks last night. Watch this.
Over the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out completely, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it because the money we're taking in is going to be so large.
Now, he's already, John, cut taxes for middle and lower income Americans, but he says he wants more. Now, look, I'm all for it, but how do you do that? How does the math work out with all of the spending levels?
Does it work out with the current level of spending? And perhaps the only way you can reduce income tax rates for everybody is by raising taxes or having new taxes elsewhere. Could it be that we're moving towards some type of federal consumption tax? I don't think so right now, but that's always a possibility. Now, if you reduce the income tax, you increase the incentive to work, and that's a positive for the economy. The stronger the incentive to work, the more we get in terms of production, and that by itself would tend to help rein in prices. Though again, this might be at the cost of looking at the introduction of consumption-type taxes.
All right. Well, it's going to be very interesting. And Americans haven't even felt the first set of tax cuts yet, so maybe better things are on the horizon for next year in the way in consumer in terms of consumer confidence. John Lonski, thank you so much.
The only silver lining here might be that if consumer spending slows down, that would help to perhaps lower prices or at least flatten price growth, and in turn we could reduce this issue regarding affordability.
Okay. All right. More to come on that. All right. Appreciate you, John. Thank you. Coming up, it's Christmas time for our four-legged family members, too. What foods should you avoid to keep them safe? Find out when the record continues.
I'm Elmer Heinrich, at 91 years of age, here with my wife Shirley, who is 83. Now, both of us are still cutting a wide swath in life, all because of Immuno 150. Now, we are asking you to use Immuno 150 like we do. Give it a chance for at least 90 days so that you can see what 70 plant minerals and 80 additional nutrients can do for you.
It really is incredible.
Yeah, try it. You will be surprised. Order now. You'll be glad you did.
Hello, everyone. It's President Donald J. Trump, and it's Trump time. Check out this red beauty. It's one of my new watches. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know exactly what it's for, who it represents. It's really going to be something special. It's for your favorite president. Get your watch today at gettrumpwatches.com. Please make a great gift. It's Trump time.
From our orchards in Oregon to your holiday table, Harry and David delivers a legacy of gourmet excellence. Our prepared meals, fine wines, charcuterie, all crafted to elevate any celebration. Make it a hand-picked holiday with Harry and David.
This is the story of the one who knows that being ready for the unexpected comes from having a partner like Grainger, whose professional-grade products and next-day delivery help ensure that he and his team are prepared to rise to every challenge, so he can be confident that he has what he needs when he needs it to help keep patients safe and happy. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
Hi, I'm Ben Cozy. Isn't holiday travel a pain in the neck? You're cramped, uncomfortable, and forget about getting any rest. There's nothing cozy about airplane seats or hard plastic benches, and those so-called travel pillows, they just don't cut it. You don't need another travel pillow. You need Be Cozy, the world's most comfortable neck pillow. Trapped in the middle seat? Wrap Be Cozy around your neck to stop chin drop, bobblehead napping. Smashed up against the window? Fold Be Cozy over and tuck it onto your shoulder for super side support. Frequent flyer miles got you sitting aisle? Turn Be Cozy to the side for the perfect pillow position. Hey, everyone wants to be cozy, so get the world's most comfortable travel neck pillow and be cozy like me, Ben Cozy. You get to be cozy. Everyone gets a Be Cozy. Only Be Cozy has patented overlapping arms so you get double support and the comfort you need in any seat on any trip. Go online right now and get this special holiday offer. Buy one Be Cozy, get one 50% off. So don't wait. Get yours now.
Did your cat or dog sneak a bite of your Thanksgiving dinner? You know they did. Earlier this week, my colleague Greta Van Susteren spoke with veterinarian and pet food formulator Dr. Marty Goldstein about how to keep them safe this holiday season. Watch.
Dr. Marty, nice to see you again.
As always, Greta, great being with you.
All right, it's the holidays, and a lot of us have some dogs that are not the best behaved, and when we leave the room, some of them grab some stuff off the table. What is profoundly dangerous that they might grab from the table that we need to worry about?
Chocolate, grapes and raisins, alcohol if they knock the glass over, macadamia nuts, raw bread dough is probably not going to be on the table, but it could be on the kitchen shelf. And, you know, turkey is one of my favorite proteins for dogs, but we got to watch out for the spices and seasoning, especially onion and garlic. And the bones get brittle. So there is the gamut.
Why is chocolate so bad? Because it's like, I never heard about chocolate being bad for dogs, except about 5 years ago I started hearing that it was, you know, catastrophic. Is it just that we weren't paying attention, or that I was ignorant? I mean, what's with chocolate? Why is that so bad?
No, it's been around a long time. It contains theobromine, which could be highly toxic and cause death. I've seen it in practice over the years.
Is it, so what's going to send me to the vet if my dog gets to the, not that my dogs be so misbehaved, of course they are, but what would send me to the vet? Chocolate would send me to the vet. Obviously, I think a chicken bone or turkey bone would send me to the vet, but what about the other things that you named? Should I rush off to the 24/7 hospital?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Grapes and raisins, a small percentage can go into renal failure. In general, if you think a dog ate something that's toxic, contact the Poison Control Center, and better safe to go to the vet than not to go to the vet with a potential toxin.
One of the problems, I mean, look, I've tried so many different dog foods, and I will say this. I tried your dog food, and I expected my dogs to like it for 3 weeks. Well, lo and behold, they love your dog food. I mean, it's just, I mean, so I'm very pleased with it. I finally, after all these years, did find it, and I'm pleased with that. I've got one dog, though, poor Dottie, and I get accused of fat shaming her. She's overweight, and she eats your dog food, and then she looks for anything else that she can find. I have a special dog walker for her. I've tried everything. What can I do when that dog stares at me like she's starving and wants something to eat?
I know when it comes to weight loss, food, especially a food like mine, which is very biologically appropriate over time, could lead to the conversion of fat into muscle, but exercise is the biggie. And even over winter, I mean, we throw a toy down the hall for my dog, Tilly, and she's zooming back and forth 15 minutes and gets exhausted. So exercise is a biggie. And I like to stay away from high sugary, carbohydrate, kibbled food. You know, my food is biologically appropriate. It's 81% meat, which is what they ate in the wild.
Well, poor Dottie. I mean, you sound like you have a younger dog. Dottie's 15, and you throw something down the hall, and she just looks at it. You know, so that, and the added problem is because of her age, she's on some medication that makes her extra hungry. So it's like on top of her loving food, on top of her age, on top of her, you know, we walk her as much as we can. She does look like she is always starving at us.
Well, there is a thing called the string bean diet, which, not that they're living on string beans, but it's tons of fiber and it's filling. They tend to like string beans. So you could research how to do it online, and it'll bulk them up, it'll make them full, but it will not add calories. That's one thing. And just continue on with the biologically appropriate diet.
Well, I'll try to do that, but I should say that when she's had medical problems in the past, and the vet has told us because she has stomach problems to give her rice and little pieces of chicken, and she somehow managed to get all the chicken, and the rice is still in the bowl. So I mean, nothing.
Yeah, rice is going to be more fattening than chicken, that's for sure. And you know, around this time of the year, I don't mind giving them, you know, things like turkey. As I said, stay away from the skin and the spices. Pumpkin and sweet potato, they tend to be very good for the digestive system, loaded with good vitamins, antioxidants, and they'll bulk them up without adding a lot of weight. I'm just not fond of corn, soy, and wheat gluten added to a lot of foods.
Well, she's fond of a lot of things. Consequently, I mean, she's a happy dog, but she's a challenge. Anyway, Dr.
But the fact
Marty,
that she's 15 is already great.
Oh yeah. Oh no, she's great. But yeah, and we love her. But she takes a lot of attention to try to keep her weight off, which we have not been successful at.
She deserves it. All four-leggeds deserve it.
Well, except that she needs to stand up as an older girl. You know, it's like, you know, there's that problem with the weight too. You know, it's like, you know, one problem leads to another.
Oh yeah, is she on joint support supplements at this time of her life? The glucosamines, chondroitins?
No, but I'll try it. I'll tell her it's food. She'll go for it.
Oh, yeah. There's many supplements right now that contain supportive supplementation for joints. Like I said, chondroitin, green lip muscle extracts, MSM. These, you know, the better her joints feel, the more she'll go into exercising. And fish oil. High quality fish oil.
I definitely try that because we give 2 different snacks to the other 2 dogs, and then we hand her a pill, and she'll eat anything. She eats her pills. I mean, so she.
Yeah, you know, my specialty over 50 years with animals has been nutritional supplements. They work incredibly well.
That's great. All right, thank you, and have a great holiday. Thank you very much.
You too. It's always great being here. Happy holiday.
Coming up, a blast from the past to wrap up your Thanksgiving holiday week. An iconic interview fail for one top political leader. When the record continues.
Posture matters, and Tommy Copper has the bra for you. Relieve neck and shoulder pain, improve your posture. Look and feel your best every day with back support built right into your bra. The best-selling shoulder support bra from Tommy Copper is the upgrade you need. Comfortable, supportive, designed to help you carry confident posture when it matters most.
Why would I wear any other bra?
Go to TommyCopper.com and save 50%. Upgrade your bra today.
There are only a few men I'd trust with my life. 2 of them built this wallet. I've known the guys behind Proof for nearly 20 years, and we've been through hell and back together. When they told me they were building the wallet, I just said, bill me now, I'm in. This isn't some fashion piece. This isn't just some trend. These wallets are a direct reflection of the kind of men who built it. It's built to last, built to function, and designed to carry everything you need and more. If anything happens to it, they'll take care of it. No questions, no fine print. If you knew the guys who created this wallet, you wouldn't carry anything else. Go check them out, because they built this thing right.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Create a daily workout. Whatever workout means for you. We are Create, the creatine gummy made from Creapure, the gold standard of creatine monohydrate. Learn more about Create at trycreate.co.
Every day across the globe, big business agendas go unseen by investors. Things that go against your core values and beliefs. It's time to know your investments. Abortion, alternative lifestyles, gender and identity confusion. If you believe in protecting marriage and life, children, innocence, guarding masculinity, restoring families, defending religious liberty, invest with your values. Before investing, carefully consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the investment company. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus. To obtain a copy, visit timothyplan.com or call 800-846-7526. Read each prospectus carefully before investing. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
The Black Friday sale is on with the lowest price of the year. Order online in minutes, and your kit that treats common and serious illnesses is rushed to your door. Don't miss Black Friday savings. Visit urgentcarekit.com/Black Friday. That's urgentcarekit.com/Black Friday.
Remember this, folks?
So much that has gone on in the last couple of months that has been so political, obviously, that it's nice to get out and do something to promote a local business and to just participate in something that isn't so heavy-handed politics that invites criticism. Certainly we'll probably invite criticism for even doing this too, but at least this was fun.
That was former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin in 2008 in an interview that was really for the birds, one of the most memorable interview locations of the century, with the turkey being put into the processor right there behind her. Look how times have changed. This year, some groups are urging Americans to adopt a turkey instead of killing and eating them, and animal sanctuaries encouraging Americans to donate money to the lifelong care of turkeys. In return, they could get photos and certificates and visits with the birds. No, thank you, folks. It's like turkey socialism. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving turkey, however you had it. Remember, if poor Tom was at the top of the food chain, he'd be eating you. Chris Salcedo's up next. Have a great weekend, everyone.